Hello and welcome to my kiddo's colorful little bedroom. Today I'm kind of excited and kind of apprehensive, and I'm not really sure how to feel actually, because I thought I would revisit the blog post that I wrote shortly after my kiddo was born. Now, I was pregnant and she was born in Berlin, Germany, which clearly is different than, Canada, North America, where I grew up. And so I thought, because she's actually going to be 10 very soon, 10, that's a decade. This is now going on a decade since this happened. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to kind of revisit that and check in again about how I was thinking and feeling and everything at that time. And coincidentally, Mathiful recently reached out to me and offered me a personalized map product. So I thought, okay, come on, this is perfect timing to get my daughter, some kind of funky, one-of-a-kind gift for her birthday. And Mathiful, first, they have free worldwide shipping, so that's just awesome. But they create for you a personalized map of the stars, of a location, of coordinates, of anything you want. So I went ahead and I created, of course, her birthday and date and the location where she was born. So before though we get to the unboxing of that, cool gift, let's kind of revisit this blog post of mine and see what it was like to have a C-section in Berlin, Germany.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.
Now, so when I got pregnant, I was actually in my late 30s, and that is considered in the medical community to be an elderly pregnancy. So that was lovely every time I went to the doctor to kind of have that announced to me. But yeah, I was not expecting this to happen, as I had had cervical cancer twice, as well as all of the kind of, damaging treatments that go along with that. I'd had a couple miscarriages and a very dangerous ectopic pregnancy that required emergency surgery. So yeah, I was told by no less than 4 different doctors that this wasn't going to happen, and that was that. You accept it, you move on, and then one day kind of woke up and was like, missed my period for more than a few times. Something must be going on, and I was really worried, of course, that it was something unpleasant once again was happening, and went to the store, just got a cheapy pregnancy test, and I actually have it because I save everything and of course make little scrapbooks. So yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Ta-da! There it is. It's still, the lines are still visible after, it's over a decade for this one. And then was pretty surprised, went to the doctor, and ba-bam! There was the little bean there. And here, what I had taken for, maybe eating the wrong foods, being a bit bloated, was in fact not at all that. Yeah, so I guess happy surprise for elderly me. So now that you have the background and the hows and whys and wheres, let's get to revisiting this blog post that I wrote 10 years ago and see what, late 30s Sherry thought about the whole situation. I will put the link down below to all of my adventures and living in Germany posts, and so enjoy that. I lived there for quite a while, so there's quite a few. So, knocked up in Germany. Congratulations, you have successfully procreated. It's a time of excitement, fear, and joy. If you live in Germany, it's also a time of paperwork, confusion, desperately looking for a doctor you can get along with or at least tolerate, peeing into cups, having your blood drained, and scans. Lots of scans. So true. The German health sorry about that. The German health service is fantastic. It's the people working for it who can make it or break it for you, especially during a hormonal pregnancy time. I mean, I think that's pretty universal worldwide. Finding a doctor. There are several websites, of course in German, to help you find a Frauenarztpraxis or gyno office in your area. You just type in your postcode and start calling through the list. Not all praxis doctors speak English, so be sure to ask before you make an appointment. None of the medical receptionists and nurses we met during our pregnancy spoke a word of English. So if you do not speak German, be sure to have a German speaker on hand to call to ask your questions and make appointments. Now, first of all, of course they don't speak fluent, wonderful English. I mean, it's Germany after all, right? And secondly, thankfully, I guess, the father of my child was actually German, so that wasn't an issue. And I'd also been living there long enough by that time that my German was pretty fine to get by and make appointments and have conversations. In Germany, doctors are referred to as die Götter in Weiß, the gods in white. After meeting a couple of them, I'm sure they thought up that name themselves. Bedside manner is definitely not something taught in medical school here. I guess the class on holier than thou attitude, aka my shit doesn't stink, takes precedence. Eventually, we were able to find a lovely doctor in our area who speaks passable English and has a great sense of humor, which was a top priority for me. I mean, clearly, right? Yeah, it's really something that is with the German culture, in particular in Berlin, where people actually call it the Berliner Schnauze, which is the Berlin snout. And it's just very well known in Berlin that people are kind of aloof and quite snotty and looking down on others, which is, I mean, that's just how it is, the Berliner Schnauze, which is quite a hilarious name, but it also rings true. Once you've been declared officially pregnant, you're given a Mutterpass. This is awesome, and yes, I still have mine. Now, this book contains all of the information about your pregnancy and should be with you at all times in case of any emergency. In addition to your Mutterpass, you'll be asked to bring some wee to each appointment. My praxis very thoughtfully provided me with pee vials for easy transportation. And I mean, like, come on, that's awesome. What an awesome service. My doctor wanted to see me every 4 weeks until 32 weeks, then every 2 weeks until 36 weeks, and finally once every week until the birth. A lot of appointments, but wonderful to be so well looked after. Quick tip. If you're at all shy, be sure to take a towel or wear a long shirt to your appointments. Unlike in Canada and North America, modesty sheets are not provided. In the corner of the exam room is a changing area where you remove your pants and underwear and then walk across the room to the exam chair in all your glory, feeling the breeze in every nook and cranny. And you immediately then sit and get those feet up in the stirrups. I mean, the first time I went to the gynecologist in Germany, I didn't know what to do with myself because seriously, change room in one corner and you leave your pants and everything in there and then you walk across, sit down, blah. But I got over my shyness pretty quickly and then actually wore long shirts to all of my appointments. Long shirts and tunics were my best friends. So also different from Canada was the fact that the doctor who saw me through my pregnancy would not be the doctor delivering my baby. Natural births are overseen by midwives, either in a hospital or at a birthing house, and C-sections are performed by the doctor who happens to be on staff on the day of your appointment. I mean, again, this is 10 years ago. It might have changed, but I don't think they really would change something like that. But maybe they have. Let me know in a comment below. Now, Next, stupendous scans! My doctor did an ultrasound at nearly every one of my appointments, and it was absolutely wonderful to be able to see our healthy daughter developing and get a printed photo to take with us each time, which of course I still have in my books. At 20 weeks, you will have your first 4D scan. This is awesome. It was at this scan that we discovered the sex of our baby and heard her little heartbeat for the very first time. Whee! Midwives, or Hebammen in Germany. Midwifery is very popular in Germany. All natural births, without any complications, of course, are delivered by midwives even in the hospital. And a certain number of before and after birth home visits are even covered by healthcare. Now, because we knew that I was needing a C-section, it wasn't such a necessary thing to get our midwife all set up right at the start of my pregnancy. Now, we did maybe want to have that little bit of help at the end of the pregnancy. At my husband's insistence, I did try. I tried very hard to get a midwife. Now, out of the 20 plus that I contacted that were available to work in my area through German and English emails and messages, only 2 got back to me. They were first informing me that they weren't accepting new clients, and they also did tell me that they weren't comfortable working with a foreigner, which is choosing your hospital. In Germany, you have a choice between giving birth in a hospital or in a Geburtshaus, or a birthing clinic. So this is really only for natural births with no complications, of course. And as we knew I was having a C-section, we went on the hunt for a hospital that would suit our needs. At about 32 weeks, you ask your doctor to recommend some for you. All German hospitals that deliver babies offer a parent's orientation, where you will get all the info you need to make your decision. We decided on Charité, which is the largest and oldest hospital in Berlin, and it has a wonderfully international staff. So now we're almost there. The last 2 months of your pregnancy are the busiest, with appointments not only at your own doctor, but also at your chosen hospital, and yay, more scans to take home. Due to all of the known complications with my birth, I had a scheduled C-section, so I had a few extra appointments as well, meeting with the anesthesiologist and so on. Nothing scary or complicated, just time-consuming. Now, the big day. I can't comment on giving birth naturally, but this is what happened the day of my scheduled C-section. We arrived at the hospital, went to the appropriate floor, gave my ID and Mutterpass to the nurse on the desk, were shown to a room where I changed into a very attractive gown and was put on a baby monitor, answered some questions, waited, and then waited some more. We were then taken to another room, put on another monitor, met the doctors, and waited some more, and were eventually taken to the operating room. Now, of course, the daddo had to wait outside while they rushed around and did all the stuff they did to me. So I was then sat on the table, and what seemed like an army of people in blue rushed around, hooking me up to machines and tubes. The epidural came next and was honestly not painful at all. Which is, I was quite concerned about that, but it really wasn't. Once I was completely numb from the torso down, a screen was erected around my lower half, and the daddy was brought in. The doctor peered around the screen and said she was beginning. Now, when she actually looked around, she didn't just say, ich starte jetzt. She basically was kind of scolding me a bit, telling me, stop telling your jokes, stop laughing, I have to start, and all of your laughter is causing everything to move. And then later on told me that never in the history of her delivering babies and C-sections had she ever had a patient laughing so much. So, I took it as a compliment. All I felt was some minor pushing and pulling, and just as my husband and I started cracking more jokes and giggling, we heard our daughter's first bellowing cry in the outside world. Now, her father went with her as she was whisked away for the initial tests and checks. Now, Something that I actually didn't include in this was before they took her away, they brought her around the screen and she's like all, you know, fresh from the oven and gungy and crying. And the nurse just kind of plonked her face on to the side of my face. I was like, oh, okay. And I had this, you know, gunge on the side of my face for a really long time until we were taken to the room so I could clean it off. Anyway, I was stitched up and I was wheeled into recovery, where we remained until the feeling mostly returned to my legs. And our new addition was also given her first complete medical checkup during this time. Once I was fully able to feel my toes, we were taken up to our room. Now, I totally recommend paying a bit extra for a Familienzimmer, which is a private room for you and your immediate family to remain together 24 hours a day during your hospital stay. This was so awesome, and a very healthy organic breakfast for all of us was included, and it only cost us about 30 euros a night. So in total, I was there 3 nights, so 90 euros is what we paid for this wonderful private room with you know, breakfast included. And yeah, it was just fantastic. Of course, again, this was like 10 years ago, so prices probably have gone up a little bit, but I still think it's worth the investment to do that if you can. Easy peasy. After 3 days, we were given the all clear and got to go home to begin our new lives as a little family. Now, this is something that really kills me when you become a new parent. I don't think it matters what age you are. When they finally say, oh yeah, here you go, you can leave, sign the form, get out of here. You're kind of sitting there going, do I have any like instructions or something? I have this tiny human who is relying on me for absolutely everything, and I don't know what to do. And it's, you know, you kind of go in panic mode. But then I guess Mother Nature takes over a little bit, and you find your way and you do it. And then again, you kind of blink and they're 10 years old. So here we are in front of our lovely Berlin map photo wall to open even more groovy Berlin decor, I guess. So yeah, my dear, let's get opening. Reuse that, I'm sure. I think this is actually it. Oh, and what's that? What else is in there? Aha, the hangers that it came with. I don't know if we're actually going to use the hangers because we still have that very cool yellow frame that we scored at a swap, and I'm hoping it's going to be the right size. So, can you hold this? And let us look at your beautiful birthplace space art. Alrighty, I successfully removed that secure safety paper. So are you finally ready to see the fab mapful of your birthday, date, coordinates, location, and just everything? Okay, I'll take that as a yes.
Ooh, that looks so cool. Let's put up in my room now.
Yeah, let's go see it. It fits in that frame. Fingers crossed. Alrighty, let's check out the art. Ta-da! Looks absolutely fantastic, and it fits in this frame wonderfully, and it, totally finishes off her lovely room that we recently painted. Each wall a different color, and of course she did help out. And yeah, still, this is one of my favorite projects here, this sewing table turned desk for her. And because it was missing the sewing machine inside, is a nice little hidey place for stickers and important papers. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really lovely little cozy room here for her to, escape and chill out as you're doing now in your fantastic mummy-made canopy. I'll put the link below for this fabulous hidey hole canopy bed thing that I upcycled from an old refrigerator box. You want to come out and see your art?
Sure.
Alrighty, pop on out. It's above your bed. What do you think?
It looks phenomenal.
It looks phenomenal. I love to hear that. I know, I'm super happy with it too. If you want to get your own Mapiful, I shall put the link down below, and they do offer totally free worldwide shipping. So, I mean, come on, you don't get any better than that. For loads more tips, tricks, and rockin' Refashionista tutorials, head on over to my refashionistasherry.com. And as always, don't forget to share your fave tutorials and articles from my site with your online circles. And let's encourage everyone to live a more rockin', sustainable, refashionista lifestyle. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag.